guys, welcome to my channel. This is Marco. I'm so excited again to be with you. Okay, this episode is going to be on how to retain and recall what you have read. I found a lot of people have asked me this question a lot. Like, Marco, how do you retain? How do you recall? This thing is evaporating from my brain. It's as if I'm dull. Am I so dull? And all that. Okay, I need to address this. Okay, I also upload a video on how to read long hours, which educates you on how to span your reading and go those long hours. You need to watch it. It's something with so much educative and informative. So just go and watch it. Okay, now back to this episode. I'll be guiding you on how I'll be telling you 4 reasons why you don't retain and recall, which is very important. Just 4 reasons. Okay. The first reason quickly is you don't solve enough questions, and something that happens to a lot of students. They don't solve enough questions. Some people just like imagine getting a topic and just solving like 5 questions and feel like, oh, I'm good. You're not good, please. You need to solve questions. Okay, like if you read Lower Limb now, expect to solve like at least not less than 200 questions on Lower Limb. I mean MCQ. You have to solve a lot of short answer questions and essays. You have to write essays. You have to do all these things to prepare yourself. And then the more you solve questions, the more it consolidates your reading and also it cements your understanding. So please solve a lot of questions. It's very important. Okay. And then I realized that people don't know how to solve questions. Some people solve questions, but they do it badly. Okay, in what sense that some people they have to read like 5 times before they can solve questions. They have to make sure that, oh, I understand this topic. And this is why people do that, is that they don't want to miss any question. So if you are solving questions not to miss question, that's stupid. Because before you get to exam, you are studying questions to improve yourself, not to miss question. If you miss it, it even help your neurological part, that it help your neurological part and consolidate your understanding. So don't try to read and so that when you attempt question you don't miss it. It's a bad thing. The thing is, what I advise is whenever you read the first time you finish reading and then you feel good that, oh yes, I finished this topic. Then in 1 hour after that, solve questions 1 hour after that, and you realize that out of 100% you cannot get anything more than 40%. And if you are a genius yourself, you get 50%. Yes, I can't get close to 70% for your first reading, and that would open your eyes to those points that you just overlooked and all those things. It will open your eyes. It would make you think in 3-dimensional ways, and because some people think in 2-dimensional way anyway. If you think in 3-dimensional way, your brain would work in multi-dimensional ways, and then you'll be able to say, oh, this is where I ignore, this is what I don't know, and then after that, make sure you read, and then fill in those points. Okay, so and after 3 days, make sure you go back and solve. Don't read, go back and solve question again, solve question on that topic again, and see if you can still remember those points you did the first day. Normally in this case now, if you want to solve question, you'll be getting like 60 or 55% of the questions. Let's say 60 and 70, from 70 to 55%, you'll be getting, if you are very smart, 70%. If you are not too smart, 55%. Okay, so that's the second time. Then after a week, 3rd time, make sure that you solve another question again. That time you'll be tending towards 80-90%. Okay, and then if you are someone that is so desperate to get on 100, continue to solve question. But for me, that 3 times is enough for you to solve question. Just solve question. Do it that way. First read the first day, and then solve question immediately. After you solve question, then consolidate your reading by reviewing what you have read. And after 3 days, make sure that you don't go to that topic and read it again. Solve questions first, and then you see how far you have retained. And if you see that you don't retain much, then read it again. After a week again, solve question first. So that's how you should do it. Okay, that's the first point. Solve enough question. Now, second point is false sense of security. False sense of security is a very bad thing that many people have. Okay, I have that before too. You read a topic and you feel like, oh, I need this topic. You don't even know it, and that false sense of security will always affect the first point. But when you have false sense of security, you find yourself that you are not solving questions as you should. You will not solve a lot of questions if you have false sense of security. You just feel like when you read the topic, you feel like, I know this, and then your brain will betray you when you're in exam. It will show you a lot of things that you don't know, and that's how many people feel. So you just read once and just feel like, okay, I'm good, I know it, and then you not even solve questions. So false sense of security give you the alibi to not solve questions. You just have the alibi like, oh, I've read it, I'm okay, nothing is happening. You see, last we go there, alright. All those kind of things that people always say. Okay, and you get to exam hall, you now know that you are not alright. Okay, so that's first sense of security. It gives you this sense of security. Like, imagine somebody that's coming for secondary school and like, oh, well, she be is, you know, is medical school now. I'm in my college days or in my secondary school, in my high school, I always have distinction. Well, medical school should not be difficult. Oh God, you're in trouble, because medical school is very different from your high school. Even it's different from pre-med, it's different from anything you have undergone before. So it's something that you just need to take headlong and do have four sense of security. Always know that, always be critical about yourself, always criticize yourself. Do I know this thing? Don't say I know it. Do I know it? That's what it do. That having not having four sense of security will give you. Imagine when you have four sense of security, you solve question and you feel like, yeah, I know this question. Though you miss it too, but it's like it's a mistake. It's not a mistake. There's something that is happening that make you miss that question. You have to be critical. It's not a mistake. Why do I miss this question? It's that I don't have enough knowledge for this question. Is it that maybe I don't read the right textbooks? Is it that I don't have the right material? Is it that I don't have the right information? You have to be critical about yourself. So that will make you, first of security will not let you to be critical. It just make you do things with levity, like, oh, I know this topic now. Even if you miss a question, it's like, I know it's maybe it's just a mistake. Maybe it's just my brain that I didn't collect it well. Please, first sense of security is bad. One, it will not allow you to solve a lot of questions. Two, when you're solving a question and you miss something, it will give you the first sense of security that I know it was just a mistake. It wasn't a mistake. No mistake will, any mistake that crept into you is something that caused it. So it's not that mistake just happened. It's not automatic. It's happened because you don't have some basic information which you are supposed to deal with. So false sense of security is bad. The third point is that, what's the purpose of your reading? Why do you read? My own purpose most before is that I always feel like I'll read the page of those book and I feel like, okay, this is 30 pages. I want to finish these 30 pages. That's my purpose of reading. That was my purpose of reading those days. Later I graduated to, okay, not page of reading now. I want to finish this topic 5 times, 3 times. You don't need to finish topic 5 times. If your reading will be, for me now, my reading is to get information and to get stuff that will help me as a medical student when I become a doctor. So that's my purpose of reading. Okay, and then I don't want to fail too. Okay, so my purpose of reading is balance between passing and also being a good doctor. So I can't just say I want to be a good doctor and I'm failing and I want people to know that I'm a good doctor. No, people assess you based on your grade too. Okay, so you don't need to balance it. You have to also pass and also be a good doctor. You can do both. It's not mutually exclusive. You can do both together. So now the purpose is get information. The purpose is that I want to understand this thing completely. I want to be able to explain to a 6-year-old boy. If a 6-year-old boy asks me, what is, please can you tell me the anterior aspect of lower limb? I will explain to him and he will understand. That's what I want. Okay, so even if it take me 20 reading to get to that level, I'll get to it. And if it will take one reading, fine. I don't need to read 5 times. Once it can be enough for me. 5 may not be enough. So it depends on my own purpose of reading. That's my purpose of reading. But majorly when I'm reading, I just come like, okay, most times I don't even know twice, or I read once or twice. All I'll just do is that I come with information that I want to read this and I want to understand it. So I don't have time to be saying I want to read 5 times. So the purpose of my reading has changed with time. So what's the purpose of reading? Are you reading just because to finish the pages of books? Are you reading just because you want to read it 5 times? Some people, if they are not reading 5 times, they don't know they have read. So that is the purpose of reading. Okay, that's the third thing. Now the fourth thing is that, how do you arrange information in your brain? Some people don't arrange information properly in their brain. They just, as I said, also it's also tied to purpose of reading. When you don't have purpose of reading, just go there and read. Just put everything in your brain. It's like an office that the files are not arranged, the books are not arranged, and everything is just anyhow. They are not arranged. So when you need that file, you enter the office, you will just be looking about. You may not even be able to get it out. And if you want to get it out, it may even take time. So that's why you need to arrange information properly in your brain. The way you read, you have to arrange it so that when you are retrieving information, you'll be able to get out the information properly. Because if you don't arrange it properly, you'll not get it out. You just get to exam where they will ask you a question and you feel like, oh, I cannot remember. Because of what? Everything is scattered. But when you arrange it, like I do a lot of tutorials. That's why you need to follow my tutorial. I basically I labor to arrange stuff so that people, when people want to recall, they'll be able to recall it well. So that's what I do. I labor to arrange stuff for people. So you can just look at watch some of my tutorial. You see the way it's being arranged. It's not, most of the textbooks are not well arranged. Ketmo is not well arranged. Most of those textbooks are not well arranged. So they are just like a textbook. But what someone like me and other people that are doing tutorial usually do is to arrange stuff. Okay, so that when you are reading, you'll be able to recollect it. When you watch the video, or watch my tutorial video, you'll be able to recollect. So those are the 4 points. And first, you need to solve a lot of questions. Second, you need to guide yourself away from false sense of security. Third is that you need to have purpose for reading. And fifth is that arrange information properly in your brain. Don't just be a random person, be organized. Okay, thank you for joining this video. I would love you to join me again in another video on how to read anatomy, physiology, and biochemistry. That's another topic. I'll treat on how to read